buckle your emotional seatbelts. I'm about to introduce to you a method I've spent years developing. The 90-10 method. The reason I call it groundbreaking isn't because it sounds clever. It's because once you understand it, you'll start seeing the entire inner world differently. This method will show you why people sabotage themselves, why they overthink, why they collapse emotionally when someone says, "We need to talk." And it explains why your brain behaves like a toddler with access to caffeine. And most importantly, how to finally stop doing all that nonsense and get your life back. Because the 90-10 method is basically this. 90% of your brain is doing way too much. 10% of your brain is doing way too little. So first, you must take out the trash. And the trash will fight you. Before you can focus like a genius, you must evict the 90% of mental clutter that behaves like a group of raccoons holding a party in your frontal lobe. This junk includes overthinking, fear, denial, comparison, ego, and whatever your brain has come up with today. Once that junk leaves, you'll become a functioning human again. Not perfect, just someone who doesn't panic when their phone buzzes. When you remove the 90%, the 10% emerges. Your mission, your clarity, your actual soul trying to speak. Hey, remember me? I've been screaming for 27 years. Now we begin. We're starting with the first section of blockages, the internal traffic jam, the noisy 90%. And blockage number 1 is the leader of that mess. Blockage number 1 is that most thoughts are garbage. Pure, unfiltered, freshly aged garbage. Listen, if the brain were a roommate, you'd kick it out within 48 hours. Your brain forgets birthdays, passwords, your child's name during parent-teacher conferences. But it will never forget that one awkward moment from 2009. A weird sound your card made once. Or a tragic fan fiction disaster you invented at 1:37 a.m. What if this ceiling collapses? The brain doesn't overthink, it over-dramatizes. Like a toddler with a PhD in catastrophe studies. Every thought shows up like, urgent, panic now. Results may vary. Your job is letting stupid thoughts leave without giving them a goodbye party. Let's examine a real-life case study of the brain acting exactly how it always does in the grocery store. I walk into a grocery store. Normal errand. Normal day. Zero drama. And my brain immediately goes, choose the right lane. Choose wisely. Your future depends on this. Why? Why would it depend on this? I'm just trying to buy eggs. But the brain turns this into the Hunger Games. Checkout edition. I look at line number 1. A woman with 2 items. Amazing. She's talking to the cashier like they're catching up after the Civil War. Line number 2. Guy with a full cart. Suspicious. I bet he's the type who waits until everything is scanned before remembering he keeps his wallet in his secret pocket and a different pair of pants. Line number 3. Long line, but everyone looks young and healthy. Potential. I commit. I step into line number 3. My brain nods like, yes, excellent. This is the correct life choice. 1 second later, the woman in front of me pulls out coupons. Not normal coupons. An archive, a binder, a whole 3-ring binder. She opens it up like she's presenting evidence to Congress. Meanwhile, I just have 1 carton of eggs and a dream. I try to switch lanes, and my brain says, no, too late. They've seen you. You're socially imprisoned now. The cashier calls for a price check. On what? A single onion. An onion! How complicated can the onion economy be? Now the brain starts panicking. This line isn't moving. We're going to be trapped here forever. This grocery store will become your permanent residence. And it keeps escalating. You will grow old in this line. Your children will visit you. You will pass down your spot in the queue as a family inheritance. Then, the line next to me, the one with the suspicious full cart guy, is suddenly flying. He's halfway to the parking lot while this line is still evaluating onions. Now fear kicks into maximum absurdity. Switch lines. Switch now! I switch lines. My old line instantly starts moving at the speed of light. My new line stops because the cashier is apparently learning the cash register for the first time. Oops! What does this do? Ma'am, that is the total. That's the main button. That is the one job. Then someone in front of me pulls out a checkbook. A checkbook! We are now doing finance like it's 1997. Your brain is like, I knew it. We should have stayed home. We should have grown our own vegetables. And then the moment of true fear. The scanner breaks. Nothing scans. Everything beeps wrong. The cashier starts tapping the machine like that's going to help. I'm standing there holding my eggs like it's evidence in a trial. And the brain, fully panicked, goes, this is it. This is your life now. You live here. Go. Pick a shelf to sleep on. Maybe buy the crackers. Those look comfortable. And then finally, it's my turn. I step up. The cashier looks at me and says, sorry, this register's closed. Of course it's closed. Why wouldn't it be closed? Fear doesn't need danger. It just needs inconvenience. And the grocery store is its playground. Blockage number 2. My thoughts hate me. Anything unfamiliar is catastrophic doom. New task? Panic. New person? Panic. New menu item? Death. Your brain becomes welcome to disaster forecasting national headquarters. Today's forecast, you're doomed. What if it fails? What if I look dumb? What if I trip on air and everyone films it? The cure? Do the thing. Reality is rarely as stupid as the trailer in your head. Blockage number 3. The circus clown that carries fire for fun. This is the guy who picks up a flaming coal, looks directly at the camera and says, wow, this is hot. Who approved this? Obsessive thoughts are exactly like that. Your brain grabs a burning idea, something like, what if I embarrassed myself 7 years ago at that wedding? Holds onto it, tightens the grip, panics, and then files a complaint. Excuse me, this is hurting me. I don't appreciate this. My friend, let go of the fire. Don't analyze the coal. Don't interview the coal. Don't invite the coal to your supper table. Don't let the coal meet your parents. Just drop the coal. Distance yourself from things that cause you harm. Don't stand near the edge. Don't go close to the thing that can burn you. That's the whole point. Because the second you start arguing with your mind, the second you start wrestling every thought, you're no longer avoiding the edge. You've already stepped inside the circus tent, put on the clown shoes, and started treating a fire hazard like a long-term relationship. The only winning move is walk away. Not fight it, not negotiate, not analyze, just distance. Blockage number 4. The body's hilarious warning that you forgot how to exhale. The one your body has been trying to teach you since birth. You have to exhale. Not hold it, not clench it, not hoard it like it's spiritual cryptocurrency. Exhale. every breath comes with a built-in message. Inhale, take in life. Exhale, let go of the dumb stuff. And I mean all the dumb stuff. The panic, the drama, the imaginary arguments, the what-if disasters, the emotional leftovers from 2004. All of it goes out on the exhale. But what do? We inhale stress like pros, and then hold our breath like we're trying to win a gold medal in lung-based self-sabotage. At some point, your body just goes, okay, since you refuse to release this nonsense voluntarily, I will now create the sensation of imminent suffocation until you cooperate. Because if you never exhaled, your lungs would literally explode. That's how serious the body is about letting go. The moment of release, the moment you stop gripping life like a stressed out shopping cart, the moment you let the bad stuff leave. Every exhale is a built-in spiritual practice of surrender. Your body is basically begging you, please let go. I'm literally designed for this. Blockage number 5. The lie that we control our thoughts. When really our thoughts are just doing whatever they want. We love telling ourselves, I run my mind. I'm in charge. I decide what I think. Adorable. Meanwhile, your thoughts are out there operating like kids who took over the kindergarten. No rules, no supervision, no consequences. They just barge in uninvited like, hey, remember that awkward thing you did in 5th grade? Let's panic about it right now. Clear your schedule. Or they show up at 3 a.m. like, quick question, what if your whole life falls apart tomorrow? Just throwing it out there. Your brain doesn't ask permission. It doesn't knock. It doesn't RSVP. It just kicks open the door with the confidence of someone who pays rent, grabs the microphone, and announces the worst possible scenarios like it's hosting a telethon for anxiety. We think we're the CEO, but the thoughts are running around the office, pressing random buttons, ordering fireworks, and printing out 97 copies of the same fear. And if you think I'm exaggerating, let me show you the level of stupidity our thoughts operate at. Here is a direct transcript from a brain attempting to eat Honey Nut Cheerios. You'll be sitting calmly eating cereal like a functional human being, and your brain just barges in like, hey, quick question. What if your entire life collapses in the next 11 minutes? Why? Why now? I'm eating Honey Nut Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios. This is the least dramatic food on earth. I'm holding a spoon, minding my own business, and my brain strolls in like a panicked realtor. Yeah, so, tiny update. What if you lose your job, your roof caves in, your credit card melts, and you end up living inside a vending machine? A vending machine. Not even a respectable one. Not one of those fancy airport machines with a touch screen. No, no, no. My brain picks the one in the back of a sketchy laundromat. The one with the flickering light and the broken A7 button and that mysterious rattle that sounds like there's a ferret living inside. And I'm sitting there like, how did I get from Honey Nut Cheerios to mentally planning my life between a bag of pretzels and a Diet Dr. Pepper? But fear is not done. Fear is never done. I take one more bite of my Honey Nut Cheerios, and my brain goes, okay, follow-up question. What if the vending machine tips forward while you're sleeping? And you get gently flattened between the Gatorade row and the granola bars. Why would that happen? Why is this a scenario? Who approved this script? And then fear starts adding details. So many details. Like imagine you're trying to get out in the morning and someone puts in $2.25 and accidentally selects you. And now you have to tumble out of the bottom slot like a stressed out granola bar. What am I supposed to do with that? How do you return to eating cereal after imagining yourself rolling out of a snack machine onto a tile floor in front of a confused stranger. But fear keeps going. Also, small thing, what if the machine runs out of snacks? And now you have to survive on the emergency packet of salted peanuts and that one bottle of neon blue mystery beverage that's been in there since the Bush administration. Fear doesn't pause. Fear doesn't research. Fear doesn't wait for context. Fear just sprints into the room screaming, I connected 0 dots, but I'm pretty sure this is the end of everything. And suddenly, I'm not eating breakfast. I'm designing a floor plan for my new studio apartment inside a malfunctioning Pepsi machine. Where do I sleep? On the potato chip shelf? Do I shower in the coin return slot? Do I heat my food using the tiny light bulb behind the chocolate bars? I'm one Cheerio away from Googling, can a human legally live inside a vending machine? That's fear. That's how fast it jumps. 1 second, you're having breakfast. And the next, you're planning your future as a snack-based tenant. And the best part, nothing happened. Nothing! I didn't lose my job. My roof didn't collapse. I'm not trapped behind a row of energy drinks. I'm just a tired human with low blood sugar eating cereal while my brain auditions for the role of the world's worst imagination. Blockage number 6. The rabbits that lose their minds so fast they treat a new email like a national emergency. Here's the real system. First comes the feeling. A tiny, weird, uncomfortable blip like, what was that? And before you even inhale, your brain has unleashed 20 thought rabbits, sprinting in 20 different directions at 200 miles per hour, like someone yelled, free carrots! A new email pops in. The rabbits immediately decide, code red. Everyone panic. We don't know why, but panic. But here's the secret. You cannot control the rabbits. They're emotional hooligans. They don't take orders. They don't read memos. You can control the zookeeper. Your feelings. Calm the zookeeper, and the rabbits suddenly stop mid-stampede. Like, oh, wait, we're not in charge? We were just running for no reason? Because once the feeling settles, the rabbits stop treating your inbox like a federal emergency and go back to eating imaginary lettuce where they belong. Blockage number 7. The circus adds a new clown, the one that thinks every challenge is holding a knife, even when it's just a calendar reminder. Your brain sees dentist appointment tomorrow and instantly responds with, who sent this threat? Everything, literally everything, gets interpreted as danger. A bill, a text message, a notification, the weather. Your brain is like a nervous security guard who keeps calling in SWAT teams because someone dropped a spoon. When things get hard, you've really only got 2 modes. Threat mode, panic, hide, emotionally curl yourself into a human raisin, bonus points if you can do it under a blanket. And mode 2 is challenge mode. Oh, fine, we're doing this one step at a time, slightly less screaming into your pillow. That's the whole game. Framing is everything. It's the difference between I'm doomed and I'm annoyed, but still capable of basic functioning. Blockage number 8. Ignore your emotions, and your body sends you a bill with late fees. Ignore emotional pain, and your body files a complaint in the neck, back, shoulders, stomach, jaw, and basically anywhere inconvenient. Thank you, Dr. Sarno, for confirming that I don't have a spine problem. I have a feelings problem that refuses to leave quietly. Blockage number 9, the boomerang thought illusion. Here's what letting go really means and what people constantly get wrong. Letting go doesn't mean the thought evaporates into outer space like a black hole. Most thoughts boomerang. They leave for 5 minutes and then pop back up like, hey, quick, check-in, remember me? But that's actually the design, because there are 2 types of thoughts. Type 1, the thoughts that actually matter. This is the idea that's important. a responsibility, a plan, a reminder, a life decision, you don't need to duct tape it to your forehead. Just release it. If it's truly important, it will return, but calmer, clearer, and without the sirens. Like instead of panic, panic, everything is on fire. Instead, maybe we should deal with this thing. That's growth. The task didn't change, the tone matured. But type 2 are the thoughts that were just renting space. These thoughts look urgent, but are actually trauma, insecurity, imaginary what-ifs, psychological clickbait. And when you let go, they ghost you. No goodbye note, no closure, gone. And that's how you know they were never worth the emotional rent. So in other words, if you forget something that's important, it will come back. It will boomerang back. And if it's not important, it may also come back, but it's okay if you forgot something. It's okay if the thought went. You don't have to go crazy if you forgot it. Blockage number 10. Expectations. The trap disguised as I'll relax later. We all believe this lie. If I finish this one task, I can finally relax. Right. Because life is famous for ending the second you're done. Sure, just check one more email and the angels will descend with scented candles and free therapy. Every time we solve a problem, life responds with, congratulations, here's a bigger one. Personal growth feels like being promoted to a job you never applied for in a company you didn't know existed. But here's the secret. The problem is not the problem. The problem is our expectation that life is supposed to match our script. Blockage number 11. Denial. It doesn't walk in through the front door. It crashes through the wall like an uninvited animal at 3 o'clock a.m. Sometimes a fear shows up and we try to pretend we didn't see it. The thought, something is wrong. Us. No, it's not. I'm fine. Look how fine I am. So fine. Denial is like shoving a porcupine into a closet and hoping it magically becomes a houseplant. Naming the fear is painful, but it also kicks it out of the driver's seat and puts it back into the trunk, where it can panic in silence. And the brain also attacks us for being too happy. Oh, you're content? Cute. Here are 20 creative ways everything could fall apart. Happiness triggers a security alarm in a building that doesn't exist. Blockage number 12. FOMO. Fear of missing out. Because peace, calm, and basic contentment were apparently too reasonably priced. The brain looked at serenity and said, ugh, no, too basic. Let's ruin this. Fear of missing out is the belief that the most incredible, life-changing, cinematic moments are happening not here. Never here. Anywhere but here. Your brain is convinced your destiny is always one room over, at someone else's party, someone else's vacation home, behind someone else's perfectly curated Instagram filter, where children apparently eat vegetables and no one ever screams. Meanwhile, you live in a place called here. Population? You haven't unpacked emotionally since 2013. There's probably a box labeled miscellaneous feelings still sitting in the corner. But your brain insists the real party is happening somewhere else, with people you don't even like, eating food you're allergic to. And this is how FOMO traps us. It convinces us that your destiny is always out of reach. Meanwhile, your actual destiny is sending you alerts. Final reminder, your life is happening right now. And you're ignoring it because maybe someone across the planet is having a slightly better time. We spend our whole lives chasing happiness like it's Amazon Prime shipping, always 2 stops away. If I climb the corporate ladder, then I'll be happy. If I meet the right spouse, then I'll be happy. If we have kids, then I'll be happy. If I buy a house, then I'll be happy. If I retire, then I'll finally be happy. Life is basically one giant loading screen. But gratitude says, hey genius, you already own things you wouldn't sell for $10 billion. Let's test that. If someone showed up and said, I'd like to buy your eyesight for $1 billion, would you even think about it? No! you'd call the police. Yet if someone left $1 billion for you, you'd pass out, recover, and start practicing your "I'm not that rich" laugh in the mirror. So explain this. If we'd be ecstatic to receive $1 billion, why aren't we ecstatic about having things we wouldn't sell for $10 billion? Eyesight, hearing, walking, breathing, family, a functioning pancreas, a second chance every morning. If you wouldn't sell it, you should probably celebrate owning it. But FOMO distracts us with things we don't have, while gratitude quietly hands us the keys to a kingdom we already own. And this is the punchline. Gratitude isn't about being thankful, that's too small. Real gratitude is the ability to tell the difference between counterfeit happiness, the stuff outside of you that keeps running away, the real thing, the stuff inside your life right now, the things you already have, that would make you a billionaire if anyone else tried to buy them. That's one of the secrets of success, and one of the biggest secrets of the world. You don't need FOMO to find it, just a little sanity, a little perspective, and maybe a fireproof raccoon trap for your brain. Blockage number 13, impatience. The brain's favorite scam. Impatience keeps whispering, just rush through this and then you'll have peace. Yeah, peace, sure. Right after you answer one more email, solve world hunger, and finally organize the junk drawer you've been spiritually avoiding since 2017. Here's the truth. Tasks multiply like spam emails. You answer one, your inbox immediately gives birth to 40 more. With the subject line, urgent, read immediately. And don't let anyone fool you. The finish line is not real. It's a myth, a legend. A rumor started by someone who never had children, responsibilities, or a working phone. It's like Bigfoot. Lots of rumors, zero evidence. Life is basically one never-ending conveyor belt. So what does your brain try to do? It tries to escape by time traveling. But the past and the future are not real locations, just emotional Airbnb rentals where you can go to cry. The past, reruns of episodes you didn't like the first time. Why did I say that? Because you're human. Relax. The future, anxiety fan fiction your brain wrote at 5 a.m. with zero research. Yes, you can visit these places. No, you cannot move in and pay rent. Because the only place life actually happens is right now, in the present, in this moment, which we usually miss because we're too busy rehearsing imaginary clapbacks like I've written 25 comebacks to an argument I made up that never happened, that maybe could happen. There are two types of worry. Worry about the past. This is pointless. You suffered already. Why are you re-suffering it again? It's like being sad that you weren't born with wings. Okay. Number 2, worry about the future. That's also pointless because the thing you're panicking about may happen or may not happen. And worrying about it does absolutely nothing except ruin your day. Congratulations, you invented misery with no benefits. So what's the actual solution? Not speed, not rushing, not trying to outrun the avalanche of life. The solution is bringing calm into the moment you're in. If you can be grounded now while the task is still happening, while the inbox is still filling, while the kids are still screaming, while your brain still wants to sprint, then the next things stop having power over you. Because impatience is not about the number of tasks. It's about the belief that life can only start after the tasks are done. No, life starts during the task. That's where calm belongs. Stop time traveling. Stop living in the past you can't edit and the future you can't predict. Come back to the moment, the only place joy exists, the only place reality exists, and the only place your soul can breathe. You're not supposed to wait until life gets calm. You're supposed to bring calm into the life you already have. Blockage number 14. The one where life stops being subtle and starts doing demolition work. Here's the thing nobody tells you. When you run away from a problem, it doesn't quietly pack its bags and move to another neighborhood. No. It goes to the gym, gets a membership, hires a trainer, and returns to your life with better shoulders. Things like, oh, you're avoiding me? Adorable. I'll just become louder, stronger, and show up during family dinner so everyone can enjoy the show. Because here's the secret. Whatever you avoid doesn't disappear. It evolves into a fitness trainer. The amount of difficulty you go through determines the amount of goodness that follows. That's not poetic. That's not metaphorical. If life throws a wrecking ball at your face, don't worry. A renovation crew is coming next. Is what you do during the setbacks, not the highlights, not the victories, not when you're winning. It's what you do when you're lying on the floor, eating emotional carpet. Stop trying to calculate why things happen. Maybe this happened because of that, and maybe that caused this. Maybe this is connected to that thing from last week. That's heretical thinking. Don't play detective. Play student. Ask, what do you, God, want from me? Not what caused the spreadsheet of misery. The road doesn't get shorter. The mountain doesn't shrink. But suddenly you can see where he's guiding you. Blockage number 15. Attacking the mailman because we don't like the message. You know how normal people read a message and just read the message? No, not us. We treat every problem like it personally insulted our family name. God sends us a tiny little nudge like, hi, please cast your worries up here. And we respond like, no, I will now overthink this for 47 hours straight. Instead of listening to the message, we tackle the mailman. We obsess over the surface, the problem, the inconvenience, the embarrassment, the why me, instead of asking, what's the message? So what breaks this cycle? Gratitude. Gratitude is the emergency exit from the brain's haunted house. It doesn't fix the ghost. It just turns on the lights and shows you they're actually laundry baskets. Hit a dog with a stick and the dog attacks the stick instead of the person holding it. That's us. We fight the stick, the problem, like idiots, while the one holding it is literally trying to guide us. We're basically barking at the props instead of noticing the director standing 2 feet away. Blockage number 16 is thanking God for the things you hate. Yes, even that. Thank God for the thing you hate. The thing that ruins your day, the addiction you're ashamed of, the pattern you can't break. Yes, that. Why?
Because God gives you
problem. That's actually a key. And we complain like we got the wrong package from Amazon. We're holding a miracle, but we're yelling at customer service. God hides the most valuable things in the worst wrappings. Good things get pretty packaging, but life-changing things get duct tape and sadness. Pain looks cheap because the gift inside is priceless. If I hadn't fallen, I wouldn't have risen. If I hadn't sat in darkness, I would have never seen light. Meaning your lowest point was the beginning of your rebirth. You don't rise instead of falling. You rise because you fell. You cannot create something good without it first passing through a stage of void. An egg. Before a chick is formed, the egg literally rots, which means when your life feels like it's falling apart, when everything feels spoiled, ruined, mushy, wrong, you're not failing, you're incubating. You're not broken, you're mid-hatch. Every decline, every mess, every moment you hate is not a malfunction. It's part of your formation.
It's God saying,
I know this looks awful, but stay with me. This is how miracles are born. Blockage number 17 is expectations that block our prayer. You know what's wild? Sometimes our prayers are answered, but we don't even realize it because our expectations are literally blocking the delivery truck. We pray and we cry.
we ask God for help.
And then we stand at the window like,
God, I need you to answer my prayer.
but in a very specific style, wrapped in a specific emotional soundtrack with a very specific timeline, preferably today.
Before 7 o'clock.
And when it doesn't come exactly like that, we assume,
Oh, God must be upset at me.
oh, maybe I'm not deserving. Or the classic, maybe this is just too good to be
True. Every prayer?
It's heard, every single one.
Every prayer is answered.
Sometimes the answer is no. Not you're not worthy, not I don't love you, just no, that's all.
And God's love?
His love for you is greater than any human love, even more than you love yourself. He wants to give to you. He loves giving. He gives even to people who don't deserve it because he's the ultimate giver.
So unanswered prayer?
Doesn't mean he's withholding. It means something else is happening behind the scenes. Sometimes he's guiding you towards growth. The thing you're struggling with is whispering, this is the area you need to strengthen. Sometimes he wants your attention, not to punish you, but to draw you into a deeper relationship. Sometimes the thing you're asking for just isn't good for you, even if emotionally you're sure it is. And sometimes, this is the hardest one, he sends the help and we reject it because it doesn't look miraculous enough. Like the flood story. God sends a helicopter, a boat, a rescue ladder, and the guy keeps saying, no, I'm not coming.
God is.
Going to save me.
God is.
Probably up there yelling, I'm saving you. Stop returning my miracles. And then there's the timing.
Some prayers
are answered right away. Some after 3 days, some after 3 months, some after 3 years, some after 30 years, but they're all answered. And even when we think nothing happened, we don't realize how much worse things
would have been.
Sometimes the answer is invisible, but it saved your life.
The most powerful prayer
comes when a person realizes nothing else can help
except God.
Nothing. No shortcuts. No backup plans. Just real sincerity. But here's the punchline. The part that actually messes us up. Our expectations.
We pray
and then say, I'll be happy
when the prayer
is answered exactly like I pictured. I'll relax when life becomes perfect. I'll feel calm once everything finally works out. But life doesn't wait for perfect. Perfection isn't coming. Growth isn't a spa day. It's a construction zone. Our job is simply to stop blocking the delivery. Blockage number 18. Time traveling into stress dimensions that don't even exist. We spend half our life trying to control outcomes that were never in our jurisdiction. We act like life is a vending machine. Press button, receive miracle.
Meanwhile, God is standing there saying,
buddy, that machine is decorative. It's not even plugged in. And then we judge ourselves based on other people's choices, which is basically like grading your math test based on what your cousin did in art class. You don't own other people's decisions. You don't own the outcome. You don't own the ending of the story. You own your effort. You own your actions. You own the part God put entirely in your hands and said, this one's yours. Do something good with it. Blockage number 19. Changing the story instead of changing the chore. Most of life's misery doesn't come from the task. It's in the story we tell ourselves about what we're doing. Folding laundry isn't torture. Paying bills isn't death. It's the price of not living in a cardboard box. Cleaning the house isn't punishment. It's giving future you the gift of not tripping on a Lego barefoot at midnight and questioning every decision since kindergarten. Nothing changed except the story. Blockage number 20, the quiet joy that shows up after the annoying part. This one is different from number 19. It's not about reframing, it's about the payoff. Not everything in life is fun. Some tasks drain your soul, like you're powered by 3 off-brand batteries from the junk drawer. But when the job is finally done, you get that tiny, delicious victory. The dishwasher humming like it's proud of you. The laundry sitting there folded like it's posing for a museum. It's not fireworks. It's not confetti. It's something quieter. The moment of calm that enters right when stress leaves is one of the greatest pleasures in human history. Blockage number 21, the one where our brilliant strategy for dealing with fear is to run away from it. Fear shows up with a minor inconvenience. And instead of dealing with it like a normal adult, the brain decides, run immediately, run dramatically. And here's the wild part. We're not running from danger. We're running from scenarios we invented. A weird physical sensation must be catastrophic. A delayed email? Someone hates you. A new task? Surely unachievable. Fear doesn't need evidence. It just needs a head start. Every time we avoid something, the fear gets upgraded. Fear 1.0 is nervous. Fear 2.0 is panicked. Fear 3.0 is demolition crew with a permit. Because fear thrives on avoidance. It multiplies in the dark, especially in the spaces where we refuse to check reality. That's why reality errors explode fear. A normal sensation becomes a medical drama. A normal delay becomes a social disaster. A normal responsibility becomes a full existential collapse. Fear hijacks your imagination, then charges you rent. And the funniest part? Fear rarely even picks something logical. It picks the least reasonable option with the highest drama budget. And to prove it, here's an actual transcript of what fear does in a completely normal situation, like sitting in a doctor's waiting room. You walk into a doctor's waiting room for something tiny, like a rash, or a weird sneeze, or the fact that your elbow feels suspicious. You sign in, you sit, you breathe. And 2 minutes later, your brain is like, okay, so you're dying. Why? Why does your brain jump straight to the end credits? You're literally filling out the form. Reason for visit. My arm makes a clicking sound when I rotate it clockwise. And your brain goes, cool. Terminal. Then the nurse calls a patient into the back. Random guy, totally unrelated to you. And your brain whispers, oh no, that's definitely a sign. They're bringing him in before you because his situation is easier to handle. Yours requires a team. What team? I came here because my arm squeaks when I carry groceries. Then you spot the doctor walking through the hallway, looking tired, exhausted, drained. And your brain narrates. He looked at your chart. He knows. He's just figuring out how to break it to you gently. He didn't look at anything. He's tired because it's Tuesday. Then the receptionist coughs. And your brain is like, confirmation. Confirmation of what? By the time they call you in, you've already made peace with the universe, written your will, and decided who gets your car. And then the doctor walks in, looks at your arm for 1.7 seconds, and says, oh yeah, just a dry tendon. Drink more water. More water? You nearly planned your own funeral because you were slightly dehydrated. And if you think that one was ridiculous, buckle up, because we've only gotten through blockage number 21, which means your brain is already preparing a strongly worded email titled unsubscribe from self-awareness. Late, because we're not done yet, not even close. In the next episode, we're going to finish the remaining blockages, clear out the rest of the psychological raccoons, and take the entire 90%, the noise, the chaos, the hysteria, and finally drag it out to the curb. And then we enter the 10%. The clarity, the mission, the part that actually knows where it's going and has been politely waiting for your brain to stop screaming. And that's when the real transformation starts.